Hey, welcome back to another episode of Simple Truth Television. Today is July 18th, 2021. So, yesterday on July 17th, there was an apparent shooting outside of the Washington Nationals ballpark. Supposedly, 4 people were shot, and the game was postponed. The Padres was leading 8-4 when the shooting happened. Now, what I'm going to show you guys in this video is how this stuff is all orchestrated by the Society of Jesus, the Catholic Church, the same people who script the games that you guys watch. After this video, after I break down the ritual, I'm gonna talk about something that happened yesterday in baseball. I went down to Yankee Stadium and I was educating the people about the coronavirus ritual that they had at Yankee Stadium. And I'm going to revisit that story. So just to show you guys how the Society of Jesus are the ones behind not only the scripting of the games, but also these fabricated stories like a shooting outside of the ballpark. Oh my gosh. You know, if this would have happened yesterday when I was down there at Yankee Stadium, this would have been perfect because I was down there with my camera. I would have been exposing it. But they went with Washington, D.C., and it makes sense. You know, the city that equals 187. So, let's just read a little bit into the reporting, and then we'll get into the decode. At least 4 people were injured in a shooting Saturday night outside of Nationals Park in Washington, D.C., sending fans and players scrambling during the game, police said. You know, one of the things that I've noticed about baseball announcers, they always address the people that go to the games as fans. And I know a lot of you may think, well, they are fans. They're the fans of the games, right? But that's like I find that very disrespectful to call somebody a fan. I think the reason they address these people as fans is because to be a fan, you have to be asleep. You have to be an idiot to not know that the games are rigged, to not know that you're being fooled, to not know that you're being lied to. So I interpret the word fan as like a derogatory term against people who are not aware that they're being lied to. I think that's why they address these people as fans. You know, there's other words that you can say. You don't have to say the word fan. They can say supporters, customers, spectators. You know, there's a lot of other terms that they can use, but they always use fan. If you listen to the announcers, they always use that term. And if you read the thumbnail of this video, they put at the billboard, they put attention fans. What if you want to go to a baseball game and you're not a fan of any other teams? You get what I'm saying? I just find that word very disrespectful, and people who go to these games, they deserve to be disrespected. And this event here is disrespect because not only is it a hoax, but it's just mocking the people who are not awake and not aware of what's really going on. For one, I repeat, the games are rigged and scripted. 2, the shootings or these stories that they create are fabricated. They're lies. They're lies. And even if somebody was shooting, that person was an actor, an agent for the Catholic Church, told to do that at that specific time just to scare these people for the ritual. Because all this stuff is ritual, all of it. The games are rituals, and then the extra stuff like this. You know, this stuff creates chaos. A lot of people, panic. I mean, this stuff is it's terrorism, really. That's what it is, terrorism. But again, the fans deserve this. Because, again, you got to be asleep to be a fan. CNN journalists inside the stadium reported hearing multiple loud bangs. A message on the scoreboard initially told fans, they keep using that word fans, to remain inside the baseball park. But it has since been updated to say it's safe for fans to leave the stadium. And there's always fans. So you're trying to tell me that I can't just go to a baseball game and not be into baseball. I have to be a fan to attend one of these games, huh? They could easily use the term spectators, customers, people. They could just say people. They initially told people to remain inside. No fans. They want to use the word fans. Okay, so this was the scoreboard when the shooting happened. The Padres was leading 8-4, like the number 84, very important number to the Jesuits. Notice Jesuit is 84. Of course, the Jesuit order is also 84. The game was yesterday on the 17th of July. That date is written 17/7, like 177. And notice the Jesuit order is 177. And then the score was 8-4 at the moment that this apparent shooting was taking place outside the stadium. If you notice what it says down here, it says that the game will resume at 1:05 p.m. on July 18th, which is today. Later on today at 1 o'clock, the game is going to resume. These numbers are also relevant to the ritual. Let's start off with the 105. Back in 2019, when the Nationals won the World Series, I predicted that they was going to win the World Series because of this number here. The Nationals, when they beat the Astros in the World Series, in the big George Bush tribute, Washington, H versus W in the World Series, HW like his initials, George H.W. Bush. That season, the Nationals won 105 games. If you add the amount of games that they won during the regular season, and then you add their playoff games, including the World Series, you add them all up, they won exactly 105 games. And notice in the alphabetical order, the name of the team, Nationals, equates to 105. So this is why they postponed the game to tomorrow at 1:05 p.m. exactly. This is a big Washington Nationals ritual. And it's also going to be played on July 18th. On 18/7, like 187, the number that connects not only to the Catholic Church, but to the city, Washington, D.C. And 187 is also known as the homicide code. And supposedly there are 4 people injured. Hopefully nobody passes away. And, these 4 people that they're reporting are injured, they probably don't exist. Probably nobody got injured because probably no shooting really happened. Somebody was probably shooting in the air. This is all ritual. I guarantee you, this stuff, it's a hoax. Plain and simple. They do this all the time. It's not just today. I've been covering this stuff for 3 years. It's always the same thing, over and over, and always the same numbers, over and over and over again. I mean, the game really at 105. Again, 184, 177, the number that connects to the Jesuit order. This happened on 17/7. Let me show you something what they did today in UFC, and then we'll come back to this story. Right? So the UFC fight just concluded, the main event. It's really hard for me to say this man's name, but notice he became 20-1. This just ended. He won in the 4th round in submission, right? Now, in gematria, the Jesuit order, not only does it sum to 177, but it also equals 201. So think about that fighter in UFC becoming 20-1 on 17/7. You see, they use all these numbers in a very different way. If you guys are new here, gematria is the practice of coding numbers into words. There's 4 base ciphers, 4 ways to calculate the numerical values of words and letters. And I'll guarantee you all 4 of these numbers, they are all very important. And they are all used in these rituals that I'm speaking about. We just saw how on 17/7, the Padres was leading the Nationals 8-4 at the time of this shooting outside the ballpark. Same day as this fighter, Islam, he becomes 20-1 on 17/7. They use these numbers all the time like this. So there you have it. And then Jesuit is for 84 as well. The Catholic Church is also 84. That number also connected to the United States of America. And propaganda is also 177, like the date that this all happened. Notice propaganda, because that's all this stuff is. It's all lies and deception. And propaganda is also 48, the reflection of 84. The score was 4-8. The Nationals were down 4-8 on 17/7. What a waste. This happens to people who don't listen. I was down there at Yankee Stadium yesterday trying to tell people that the games are rigged. And you know what the guy said? One of the guys told me that he doesn't mind being lied to. All he worries about is pussy. I mean, that's what he said. Go watch the video. He said, I'm trying to get some pussy. Meanwhile, he has a Yankee jersey on. He's smoking a cigarette. He also said that he's a smart guy because he graduated from Penn State. I'm like, okay, so you graduated from Penn State, and here you are smoking a cigarette. So you spent, 15 years in school, and now you're going to die from cancer? Not a really smart choice, but whatever. I tried, The 2021 MLB season, it opened up on April 1st. And from April 1st to the shooting, 107 days. And notice Washington Nationals is 107. Shooting is 107, like Saturday. I always talk about shootings on Saturday. Last Saturday, it was the 10th of July. And remember, I spoke about, if you guys, those of you who follow me, I spoke about a rapper who was shot 64 times last Saturday on 10/7. I'm going to play the video just so you guys can see what I said about shootings on Saturdays. They love shootings on Saturday because shooting and Saturday both equate to 107 and 109. So a shooting in the baseball at the Washington National Stadium 107 days after the start of the MLB season. But let me just play a little, 10 seconds of the video that I did on the rapper KTSJ, who supposedly got shot 64 times. Just listen to 5 seconds. Now notice this, right? Saturday equals 109 and 107, just like shooting. Another reason this shooting took place on a Saturday, because the numbers connect. I put out this video on July 12th, so 6 days ago. Well, yeah, a week ago, because the shooting on this shooting happened a week ago, last Saturday on 10/7, and here I am talking about another shooting on another Saturday. And again, 107 is the 29th prime. Not the 28th prime. It kills 28. And just think about how shooting is 107. He died on 10/7. So a shooting on 10/7 on a Saturday. Perfect. By the numbers. I was talking about the rapper KTSJ. He gets shot 64 times on a Saturday on 10/7, on July 10th. This happens all the time. This is why I'm so numb to this stuff. And when I see these numbers, I just smile. I'm like, oh my God, another shooting on Saturday? Oh my God. Then I type in Washington National and I notice it's 107. And then we measure from the start of the MLB season is 107 days. But the people down there at Yankee Stadium yesterday were saying that all this stuff is coincidental. Like how MLB equals 27 and the Yankees have 27 championships. Then I said, okay, so maybe that's a coincidence that MLB is 27 and the Yankees have 27 championships and each team has to get 27 outs. Maybe all that's coincidental. But what about the fact that NBA is also 17 and the two teams with the most championships are the Celtics and Lakers, and they both have 17 championships? Is that a coincidence as well? He said, no, I just think that back in the day, there was only 5 teams. And, Bill Russell and Will Chamberlain, they was dominating. Dumb people, I'm telling you. Let me show you this, right? So baseball, speaking of baseball and rigging, notice how baseball is 162. Before this coronavirus stuff, the MLB season was 162 games. The term base was 162. Baseball is also 54. And just think about how each team has to get 27 outs, 9 innings, 3 outs in every inning. So each team gets 27 outs. 27 plus 27 is 54. 18 players play the game. All right, going back to MLB. Again, each team gets 27 outs. Yankees, the most dominant baseball team of all time. They have 27 championships. 9 innings. MLB is also 9. Again, the 54 outs. 18 players play the game. All this stuff is coincidental to the people at Yankee Stadium yesterday. And this is, I wish I would have been down there at Washington National Stadium and letting the people know that all this stuff was predetermined. orchestrated, planned by the Catholic Church, by the Jesuits. But these people would have never listened. They would have been running for their life. All it takes is some gunshots and an announcement from the MLB saying that there's a shooting outside of the stadium, and that causes chaos because nobody pays attention. Nobody does any investigation. Nobody wants to find out whether or not there's really a shooting. And I understand. You hear gunshots. You don't want to make... I get why people are so programmed. And that's why these people, they know how to play with people's minds, It's almost like you walk into a movie theater and you yell out fire. Everybody's going to run. Nobody's going to wait to see if there's a real fire. I get it. But it's just like, how many times do they do this to people? And we are showing you the evidence that this is, in fact, a hoax. And nobody seems to be paying attention. Nobody seems to be listening. When I went down there to Yankee Stadium yesterday, I'm letting people know that the games are rigged. And people saying, well, it's just entertainment. The people at the Washington National Stadium yesterday on the 17th, okay, they was probably entertained up to, what, the 7th inning when this all happened. But no, you're trying to tell me these people right now in this moment right here are being entertained, or are they being terrorized? This is why it's important to stop going to these games and stop worshiping these people. These people don't care about you. They want to terrorize you. They want to steal your money. They want to lie to you because you're dumb, and they're not. This is why they address people as fans and not people, because you're not a person to these people. They don't see you as a person. They see you as a fan, a fanatic. You got to be a fanatic to go through all this torture and be okay with it, Oh, my goodness. Yeah, so let me just show you the 2019 MLB season. For those of you guys that think that the game starting tomorrow at 105 is just a coincidence, right? 2019 MLB season standings. Hopefully it comes up. So let's see. So the National League. So the Nationals in 2019, this is the year that they won the World Series. They won 93 games during the regular season. 93. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I think you have to win 16 playoff games. Let me see. Actually, we could just look up the postseason. They literally had H versus W in a big George Bush tribute. So look, 2019, when the Nationals won the championship, this was a tribute to George H.W. Bush, who lived in Houston. And he worked out of Washington, right? He was the president. And in the World Series, they had the team with the H logo versus the team with the W logo, because George Bush, his middle initials is HW, right? And there's a lot of other things as well. And like, for example, the Washington Nationals, they won the first 2 games. Then the Astros won 3 games, and then the Nationals won the last 2. The series went to 7 games. So the sequence was 2-3-2, which is another rearrangement of the number 322. And just think about that number connects to George Bush and Skull and Bones, right? Those of you familiar with the Secret Society, Skull and Bones, and George Bush, you guys know exactly what I'm talking about. So a big Skull and Bones tribute in the 2019 MLB season tributed to George Bush, the former president of the United States. George Bush Sr., by the way, I'm speaking about, the father who passed away. So let's see. So the Washington Nationals won 1 series, 2 series, 3 series, and then the World Series. So yeah, so you have to win. Now I'm not sure. Okay, so the wild card game is 1 game. So 1, 4, that's 5 plus 9, that's 13. Is that right? I'm not sure how the brackets work in baseball, so let's just see. Let me just see something. How many games do you have to win the World Series? Actually, I could just subtract, because whatever it is, it's 105 minus 93. Okay, so they won 12 games during the postseason. So let me just see something. Okay, so they won 12 games. Let me see, 4, 4, 4. That's 8. That's 12. But they won a game in the wild card. Something is not adding up. Let's see. So they won 93, and they got to 105. So they won 12 games in the postseason. Something is not adding up because they won 105 games. So I'm doing something wrong. Because it looks like they won a wild card game. I think that's just one game. They didn't want to. Oh, you know what it is? I think the first round is not 4 games. I think it's the best of 5. That's probably what it is. So let's say 3, 4. Yeah, that's what it is. The first round in baseball, it's the best out of 5. That's what it is. I'm thinking it's like basketball, which is best out of 7. It's not. In baseball, the first round it's only 5 games. So you only have to win 3. So they won 3 games here. They won 1 wild card game. That's 4. Then the second round is a 7-game series. So that's 8 games. And then they won the World Series by winning another 4. That's 12 games, right? I think we got it. So they won 12 games in the postseason. They won 93 during the regular season. And they concluded the season with 105 wins. Like how Nationals equates to 105. One of the reasons why tomorrow's game is being postponed or resumed to 105. Big number with the Nationals. So, if you haven't seen the video that I did when I was down there at Yankee Stadium, feel free to watch it. It's kind of painful. I was really frustrated because what you guys didn't see is that before I did the live stream, I was already speaking to people. So that's why in the video it sounds like I'm mad. It's I was interacting with people already. I wanted to see how it was gonna go before I was live streaming. I didn't want to live stream and then have something going on. So I wanted to check people's temperature, see how people were. Everybody was just all over the place. So I said, you know what, I'm gonna just turn my phone on. Whatever happens, happens. Because people don't like it when their team loses. These people are fanatics. I didn't want an altercation to happen and I have to beat a couple of people up and go to jail. It's a lot of police down there at Yankee Stadium. Especially that guy with the cigarette in his hand talking about he graduated from Penn State. I really wanted to knock him out, but I gotta understand that these people they don't know any better. This is why they get terrorized because they're fans. It's funny because it's about to be 1:07 a.m. Oh, that's crazy. It's just crazy how the world works. So I'm gonna leave it there. Stop supporting these leagues, and you won't be terrorized. That's all I have to say. Another shooting on a Saturday. Crazy. Somebody asking me about the Bucks and the Suns. Yeah, I'm only gonna talk about that on Patreon. If it is the Bucks, it's a good sign for Tom Brady because they just had the Tampa Bay Lightning win. So I gotta look at it though. I'm gonna go back and look at it. But sports stuff, I only post that on Patreon. It doesn't go up here on YouTube. But thanks everybody. And it's 1:07 a.m. Perfect time to end this live stream.